Hey, there she is.
Hi
Hello.
there. Hey, girl.
Hi. Hi, y'all.
Oh my
Hi.
God, it's been such a long time, girl.
Girl, for real. That's crazy. I feel like this is the first time I've been talking to y'all the whole day, like the whole year. Like it's
I
Yeah,
crazy.
know.
But
it's been too long.
oh
It's been too long.
my God, how are y'all? How's everybody doing?
Good, good. Yeah, we're super excited about this conversation.
Oh,
Yeah.
I am too, so I am too.
First of all, congrats on qualifying for the second round.
Yeah,
Thank
good
you.
job.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Impressive.
Thank you.
And yeah, I mean, Paula, you can start us off.
Yeah, I mean,
The topic.
basically, why we chose the theme of of today's discussion because November usually is like a bit unusual month, because of the national team break.
Mm-hmm.
So we need to, like, we just have got a little bit routine in our clubs, and then we have to go and for 1 week prepare for a completely different system, maybe a different role, and that adaptability is really important. So that's what we're going to talk about, how to play in different settings and who better to help us discuss.
Yeah.
Thank
And
you.
my responsibility today is to introduce you. I
Oh,
mean,
that is
flatmates or
crazy.
what? The person responsible for me learning Italian, which I have
It's
forgotten.
No,
Shame on me.
okay. You'll
you have not.
remember.
You
You'll
have not.
remember. You will remember.
But yeah, I would say I feel like you're the type of person who always takes up opportunities like on and off the court. Always, you know what you can offer and you know what value you bring to the team no matter what.
Yes,
And
flatter me. Ah, I'm gonna
This is what it's
blush.
all about.
I'm
We're
blushing.
giving you your flowers.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
with
I'm
that being
blushing.
said, we love you and you're always very, very fun to be around, no matter
I love
matter the
y'all
occasion.
too. Thank you. Thank you so much. I love being around y'all. I mean, I had the chance to share with two of them. Sorry, Paula, I didn't share
Okay, maybe
the
in the
core with
future,
you.
in
In
the
the future,
future.
you never know, but with two of these amazing people. So, like, I loved, being in the
Yeah.
same apartment with them because I shared this apartment with both of them. I love just having them as my teammates, and just I love them so much. So I love y'all a lot.
Aw, we love you.
Oh.
Okay, so we like as you already said, like yeah, Alexa has got a chance to share a little bit before me an even apartment with you, and then I had a chance. But like maybe you can fill us in a little bit about and like everybody who is listening, how you started to play basketball and how you got to where you are now.
Oh yes, of course. So I started playing basketball. It was kind of because of my uncle. He used to play for a lower division, like back in my hometown, like close in Terni, that's my hometown. So basically, I don't know. I just, at the halftime, the kids always go there and play and stuff like that. So somebody from my old team, from my first team, saw it and they were like, "Why wouldn't she try?" So just go try. And then that's pretty much how it started. Like I was probably like 8 or 9. And then from there on, I didn't stop. That's just how it kind of happened. So yeah, I guess that's what it is. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Sorry, we
Sorry.
always have this.
Sorry. Am I
I was
missing a
thinking there
part
was
of the
something more.
question?
No.
No, sorry.
But
Am I missing
now
part? Does
you
it?
now you have been, in even though like your career is pretty, you're still so young, but you have done seemingly like all of it, like the national teams, WNBA, college, pros in Europe. So when was the moment, when you decided, okay, let's take basketball seriously? Maybe you started like this, but like at what
Yes.
moment did it shift?
So I always been very passionate about basketball, so I kind of always took it seriously, but I would say I kind of understood that it could become something more like a profession when I was like around 14, 15. That's where I started first competing with the national team. So that kind of like helped me understand, yeah, I can do this for a living. And then I started thinking, oh, what I want to do in the future when I graduate from high school and stuff like that. And that's when I started taking in consideration college. So I guess everything started for me when I was 14, 15. So kind of very young, but I started there, like understanding that I wanted something more out of it for sure.
Okay.
Did you always have that kind of thought at the back of your head that you wanted to go to the States, or you had to kind of like choose your path between going to
Definitely,
or the States?
definitely. Like I always had in the back of my mind, as I said, like when I was 14, that's kind of like when, I started kind of thinking, yeah, I want to go to the States because it gives you a lot of opportunities also to study and to play basketball. For example, I already started thinking that for the fact that in Italy it's very hard to play basketball and sometimes to study. So like that also was a path that I was willing to, experience just to have a better opportunity to do both great and just, also live in another country and have another experience, learn another language better. So, yeah, that's definitely started, and I had it in the back of my mind since I was 14 for sure.
What did you
Yeah.
study?
So I studied business administration. So, yeah,
Okay, okay.
I'm done with
Okay.
that. Was tough, but I'm done with that. So that was good. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because I also, I mean, from my experience, I remember like when I was with you on the team, it's like
Hmm.
I had that thought in my mind of just, going to the States the same as you, like from 14, 15. But then like coming to Italy, like other opportunities showed up and I'm like, huh, like,
Yeah.
okay, like there
I
are
think we
some
kind of
other
talked
things
about
there.
it when we were younger too. I remember us
Yeah,
talking
yeah,
about it
yeah.
too. Yeah, 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 for sure. No, I remember
And
that
kind
we
of like
talked.
thinking, okay, so what's the right thing to do? But
Hmm.
you don't know.
Yes.
No.
It's kind of like scary because it's such a huge leap of faith that you have to take. So you kind of have to trust the process in a way. And it's hard if you are not used
Yes.
to it, like it's something because going to the other side of the world, it's scary. You don't know anybody, like you don't know the language, you're not very proficient in the language, you don't know the way they talk, they speak, they do things. So it's a whole different world, At the end of the day, I can see why like it's hard and your head just starts thinking and thinking and thinking and you're like, I don't know what to do and stuff like that. So yeah, for sure, it took me a while to 100% positive about that because of course as you know because we played together here in Italy. I was already with the first division team, so I was kind of like practicing with them, like in the bench playing a little bit. So it was kind of like should I do it, should I not do it, should I go pro straight up, or just like pause it and go to college and just get an education and competing at high level in college. So yeah, for sure, like you ask yourself a few questions and it's hard when you're like very young.
Yeah.
So
I think that's the
but
difference. That's the difference maybe between Italy, like, and for us at home, like we have professional teams, but the league overall is not really
mm-hmm,
professional. So you really kind of have to choose, like maybe management is even harder that like then because some teams are professional, some teams are not.
mm-hmm,
So at least for me, that made going to college, like that decision seemed just like way better
mm-hmm.
because I was like, okay, then even like the basketball level already is gonna be higher. It's not like you have to
Got it.
choose between the
Yeah.
professional level and education. Like both of them is gonna be better. At least that's what in that moment of time it was like that for me.
Yeah, no, of course, I understand that for sure. For sure. That's yeah, that's it.
I think
Yeah.
for a lot of Europeans is like that. Like I feel like we know if we go pro, it's like really hard to put it together with studying and all that. And like like that one good thing about America is like they're gonna make sure you finish school first.
Yes,
Like
they are
you,
going to make sure.
yeah.
You are doing
So
it in 4 years.
yeah,
They're doing
yeah,
it. That's it.
exactly. Even if you're gonna have to like sit for like hours and hours, like after school and like after practices and everything, they're gonna make sure you do it. And like, and then when you get used to it, like you kind of just like you get like more how do you say, like independent in it,
Mm-hmm.
like because you kind of like, you the first year is like, okay, yeah, like I need all this guidance, but then like you're like, okay, no, I can actually do this, and you start to do more and more things, and like it gets better. So
Yes.
yeah, for sure, America will make sure you get your
Yeah.
degree.
A
So
thousand percent. 1,000%.
yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, okay, now jumping from the youth age now to back to the pros. Like you've been so from America, you got the W under your belt, you got pro seasons and kind of like not having a full off season,
Mm-hmm.
you know? And for you, like how do you manage that physical load?
Okay, physically, for me, has been kind of hard. I'm not gonna lie because I feel it now a little bit more than I used to a few years ago, of course. Um,
Yeah.
I would say like since I started like, since I went pro, so I'm talking 2022, I've always had little problems maybe here and there, but thank God nothing too serious, but still like,
Cool, cool, cool.
yes, let's knock on wood. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
so literally just I always tried at least 2 weeks off. I needed like 2 weeks off to completely like detach mentally, detach physically, like at least 2 weeks because going hard all the time, it's tough. It's tough, and your body, the more you go, and unfortunately, we're not getting younger, the more you're gonna feel it. So it's been tough, but I'm trying to like take as much rest as possible, and especially in the beginning, for example, it was sad kind of because I would just like to be at home more just to completely recover instead of like doing something. But now I'm just balancing it more. Like, yes, I can stay at home, but then I can go out and do something else just to, relax and stuff like that. But yeah, definitely it was the hardest part, the physical part for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you
And
feel?
you also
Sorry, I just wanted
can go
to
ahead.
jump in. Like,
Yeah.
do you feel like coaches are more understanding of the players who like do WNBA and the teams, or it's more like they try to make their team for you the priority? You know, like how is it?
Okay, so I can talk because that happened to me this year. For me, my team was very understanding of the fact that I did both. So they were, kind of easing me into it. Like they were not like just right away. Of course, like for them, after a while, it's just about interest. Of course, for them, the interest is my team right now. So you gotta put that first. But for me, like they were very understanding of this fact and they didn't rush me or pressure me to go right away, actually, like, and then that happened with them not pressuring me, that happened naturally that I wanted to come back, just start again with them and just be in rhythm, be with the team, find like the connection again with the team and stuff like that. So for sure, like for me at least, it helped me a lot that they were very understanding and we had like this communication point where they understood my needs and so I could satisfy their needs. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
And yeah, I mean, going back to we asked you about the physical part, but now I feel even now people are starting to pay more attention to the mental part as well,
Hmm.
and to excel as an athlete, obviously you have to have your physical good and then your mental aspect good as well. Like for how's the mental part?
Okay, so I would say my first year was very hard coming back. I think that's what I quote unquote suffered the most mentally. I think it was me trying to find a way to play again in Europe and to find a way to be productive for the team that I'm in.
Yeah.
So it was very hard on top of, I had an injury that year. So kind of for me, the mental part was very, very hard. Um, I kind of like quote unquote blame myself because at the end of the day, I don't blame myself, but I could have done something better. Like I could have put myself more out there or just like ask for more help when it came to a point where I was like a little bit down. But yes, I feel like I definitely very much learned from that. And I learned that I need to differentiate the basketball part and my life and just have a break sometimes, and it's okay. It's
Yeah.
my job, it's my passion, yes, but it doesn't have to revolve like my whole day, my whole life doesn't have to revolve around it. So I make sure that when I'm out, when I'm in the basketball court and when it's about basketball, I'm 1,000% locked in. But when it comes to like personal life and everything, I just need a breather, you know? And I
Yeah,
guess like
absolutely.
I definitely needed to find that balance that I didn't have my first year. And that's why I suffered in a way a lot because I kind of struggled and it also like from the mental it kind of affected in the physical part I think as well. So
Absolutely.
I guess it was like a domino effect at that point. So
Yeah.
for sure,
I
yeah.
feel like it's for everybody. Like, I feel like you're not the only one. And the fact that talk about it, you're free to
Hmm.
talk about it because everybody's going through it and not all of us are talking about it.
Hmm.
And it's really important that we, divide these two things, that it's
Hmm.
not our whole life, that what happens on the court stays on the court. We go on and live our own life, Of course, if it's a tough loss, it's a tough loss, but
Yeah.
you got to find the little happy things in it
Hmm.
as well.
And a way to bounce back right away. You no don't think about it too much, and that's kind of like a trait that I have, always thinking about the mistake, always, you know.
Yeah.
So it's just like I needed to let go of that. I'm still a little bit like that, but way better. I used to
Yeah.
be way worse. So kind of like bouncing back, just thinking about the other thing, the next thing, the next thing, because it's a in a way it's also fast. The way
Yeah.
the season goes so fast. So if you think too long about what it was, you kind of lose the all the next things, you know? So yeah, just next thing.
Next.
It's done. Going on to the next, on to the next.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And it is so much easier to like if you are in winning streak, okay, you like the next
Hmm.
one, the next one, the
Hmm.
next one.
Yes.
When you have the loss, then you're like, well, technically, we need to move as fast as possible, but it's that learning process that you have to like reflect and change things, like why you lost.
Yeah.
I feel like uh, like a weird
Hmm.
balance to do. Like, okay, like how much time do we take to learn from this game, and how much time so
Yes.
it's fast, and we go
Yes.
forward. Um, so, you don't want to make the same mistakes twice, but at the same time, like, it's a completely different team the next time you
Yeah.
play. So, I
Yeah,
don't
I
know.
feel like that's the hard step when you're losing because when you are in a season like we are right now, like everything is so fast. Like the next game is after 2 or 3 days.
Yeah.
You don't have a lot of time to just mourn the loss. You know what I mean? I don't know how to
Yeah,
explain it,
yeah,
but you just
absolutely.
gotta bounce back right away. And if you keep doing like if you keep losing, it's kind of hard mentally because you're like you don't see the light at the end of the tunnel, but
Yeah.
you just gotta bounce back, bounce back, bounce back. You cannot just like think about that because then you just go crazy. So
Exactly.
better no.
But
So
I kind of
you gotta
like,
go bounce
I,
back.
I like the 2 games a week like so much better because you really like, you don't have I don't know, the luxury, or you cannot put that much pressure on one game,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, for
So I
sure.
think it's better.
And you don't have the luxury of I feel like it's bad in a way because you don't have the luxury of like improving as much as if you had only one game a week, you know? If there is something wrong that didn't work, for example, in the one game a week, you have at least the whole week to perfect it, you know? And you have all this practice. But if you play 2 times a week, it's just like you always do like you always practice maybe one time or two and then you just play again. So you don't have the repetition. You try to apply to the next game, you know? It's more mental in a way. You gotta be more mentally prepared to do better the next game.
I
So, yeah.
agree, definitely, for sure. Like I'm playing now one game a week, and like it helpful so much because like you kind of like till the next game you have kind of like worked so much on your game in that
Hmm.
span that you're like, okay, like I'm ready to like, even if it didn't go the way you wanted to, like it's gonna be a completely different game. Like you
Yeah.
have had time, because sometimes when you have like all like a lot of like traveling and all that, like you don't have that much time to get in the gym, so you kind of like stuck into, I don't want to say that, hopefully not, and you shouldn't be, but like you get kind of stuck into like, oh, it was so bad, now I have next game in like 2 days and I'm still traveling, I don't even have mental time to like prepare for that like next game. But I still think like both both is great. Like I think game time is very good, very important as well, because us as players, obviously, we all like to play, we all
Yeah.
like to be on a court. So that is the helpful part. Like nobody likes to be like, not that nobody likes. I mean, like we all will go in a gym and work really hard, but like games are like kind of a reward. Like we
Yeah,
get
that's
like
what you look forward to.
exactly,
Like, I
exactly.
never heard somebody, oh my God, I cannot wait to practice. You know what I mean? So, like I never heard anybody say that, but it's a very important part of the game. So, of course, yeah, but
That's so true.
that's the player mentality, I'm telling
Yeah.
you.
Okay, so now my question to you is like, well, you're switching teams a lot, kind of like, so you're going from WNBA, now you're in Venice, and then you're like, then you were in like college, you know. So, what are the like, kind of like, how do you stay true to yourself, to your game, and like, what do you like? I don't know how to word it right, the right way. Right? So how do you stay true to yourself besides like what the team needs? Because every team will need like something different, you know?
Hmm.
So how do you stay to what you know best with also like kind of like taking into like in consideration what the coaches will need,
Yeah.
what your teammates are gonna look like and stuff like that.
Yeah, definitely like every team has different expectation of you as a player, and you have a different role in a team, and it's sometimes it's kind of hard to fulfill that role if you're used to another role. For example, maybe in Italy here in Venice, I have one role, and then like when I went to the WNBA, it was a completely different role. And for me, it's just that prepared mentally to, I really prepared mentally to know, okay, maybe you're not gonna play this much, maybe you're not gonna play at all, but you just have to do this, and this, what the coaches require all the time. So for me, it was more like, okay, like whatever it takes, like in practice, in the games, whatever, even in the individual workout, like I'm gonna do that consistently. Like for me, it was very much a mental thing, because if I start thinking, oh my God, no, I should play more. Oh, I wish I could play more. If I start thinking like that, to me, it would have been a very heavy experience, a hard experience to have. But for me, it was just like, okay, I can do this thing that I do usually, but maybe I'm gonna focus on them a little more, and maybe just, like take what is thrown at me. Literally, like everything I can take, I just do it. And that's kind of like how I had to think about it, especially when it was time for me to, for example, go to the WNBA. So it was like a different environment, a different role for sure. And, I was just ready for, to fulfill that role. So for sure. It's hard, but you gotta like concentrate and just put your mind that is not gonna be the same, and that the coaching style is not gonna be the same. So you are expected to do things in a little bit different, and you just gotta be a little bit willing to adapt and to kind of model your game to the new style of play.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not easy, it's not very easy, but you just have to try and just show that you are capable of being that versatile, for the other team. So
Yeah, I think we had like one live before, and we were talking to someone about like adjusting, like, and how
hmm
important it is to be able to adjust to different
hmm
things. And I think like that's one thing, like every time like I speak to like the young girls now, like I say that like actually like it's really important if you can like adjust to different things that coaches throw at you, because like it's never gonna be really the same thing that always is asked
hmm
from you. Like sometimes it's gonna be one thing and sometimes it's gonna be completely different. So like yeah, adjusting to that is very important. So you have to like work on it through the years, that it's gonna come with experience, but it is important. And like okay, so what would your advice be to like going into, for example, like a longer like term, like for example like college, we go for 4 years, right?
hmm
So like how do you make that decision compared maybe to like how you make that like short-term decision, because like usually the regular contracts will be for a year. So
hmm
like how do you think people should look at that, like when you make that big, like I mean probably pretty much like the same things, but like what would your advice be when you're choosing those teams?
Definitely my advice for college. For me, there were a lot of different things that I wanted. So, for example, now if you want to go to college, okay, that's the big step. Where do you want to go? And Do you mind the time difference? That's the first thing. You need to find a place that, okay, for example, I'm from Italy. For me, it was gonna be a little uncomfortable to go, for example, to Syracuse because it's so cold, like stuff like that. Do you want to go, what do you want to study? So you gotta find something that you want to study. So, and you want to find a school that offers that. Then you need to talk to the coach and see, I kind of look at how they play, what's their style, like if they, also, it's okay to look how many people there are that on your same position, stuff like that, just to see like what it is, like what's the team looking like and stuff like that. And for sure. And then, the conference, if you want to look at the conference or just, but for me, that was the main thing. For me, I didn't want to be more than 6 hour difference from my home. So that was because it's already a lot. So imagine you leaving your whole family
So, so
in
much.
you leave the whole family there. So it's like, imagine you wake up at 8, but it's already 2 p.m. for them. It's a whole different type of day. So that, and then for me, it was very important the level of school. Like, if I wanted to do this big step, for me, the school will have to be a big part of it because, like, that's what I wanted to gain. Like, I wanted to gain experience also in school and just a degree, a good degree. So that for me was very important. So it's a very much thought that you have to put into it. And for some people, maybe it's not even that important. For example, okay, yeah, I can go 9 hours away. I can go to the West Coast and I'll be fine. But every person has a different, necessity. Like I need to talk to my parents more, for example,
Yeah,
or I have
yeah.
to be able to take a direct flight from Atlanta to Rome, stuff like that. So it depends also on the person. But for me, that was very much, these are the things that you should consider it, and you should you should find what is most important and just make sure that you find out if the college you want to go to is aligned with that. So don't compromise on that. Like those things you cannot compromise because when you're on the other side of the world, yeah, you're there now,
You're
like you cannot,
there, and the
yeah, you're
family's
there.
way
Yeah,
over
and the
there.
family is here. There's no mom or dad coming to help you and stuff like that. So yeah, you have to make sure that that is, you know, taken care of. So I feel like for the contract, which is another thing, and it depends on how long the contract is. Of course, like if you do it 1 year, of course you have to negotiate, salary, stuff like that. Stuff like you already know what it is. But for me, I would say also if you like the place, if you saw them playing, if you like the coach, if you want to do 2 games a week, or if you're okay with 1 game a week, if you have also that choice, you can choose. Um, for me, I didn't really have that conversation because I was siding with Venice, so it was for a longer year. So for me, it was more like I already know the team. I played for this coach already 2 years. I can deal with this, and I can play for more years here. And then I'm doing EuroLeague now or EuroCup.
Yeah.
Some type of European competition for me was very important, and just like, and then it depends on how long the season is, because also that matters because of the payroll. So
Mm.
if the season is shorter, maybe you get paid only this amount of months, but if it's longer, you get paid more because you work for longer. So that depends also on how the people want to deal with that. If you want to play for a longer season or shorter, that's kind of like what you have to, consider when you sign a contract for sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I think also just signing just for professional years, just one by one,
Mm-hmm.
like you can maybe plan like the steps of
Mm-hmm.
growth a little bit better. But like, yeah, for college or if you sign for more years than one, you have to, like how you say, take account your actual life and your family, because those,
Yes.
you don't, for 1 year, maybe you can go really far away to play in China or Australia or something like this, and maybe you're not gonna have that connection with your family. But going like for 4 years, that will be a big difference if you lose four
Yeah.
years of your life. But I wanted to ask you what, also the professional college, but what do you think is so special about playing for the national team?
Definitely, like the fact that you're representing your whole country and that you are chosen to representing at its best. That's, I think, the best feeling that you can have when you wear, an Italian jersey, and y'all for sure, like the Latvian jersey. So, it's always an honor, wearing the national team jersey, and just the fact that you are so I'm always so thankful because I feel like I get to experience so many different things. Like I got to experience even with the youth national teams, like world championship, like European championship and stuff like that. So it's a lot of experience that comes back to you, and you just, you know, always thankful when you have that part of the national team. And this year for us also is very good because we're gonna be in
Yeah.
Italy, in the
Yeah.
first phase of the hosting the first phase. And it's a really big deal for us, like we want to do good. And I mean, everybody wants to do good, of course, of course, but I feel like we want to do good, and we kind of like took that upon ourselves. Okay, we hosting, so we just want to do good. So it's very much
Yeah.
about pride and honor, and yeah, of course, I love playing with the national team. So unfortunately didn't get to this November, but yeah, so it's very nice. I love it. Yeah.
But the summer is coming up, and you know,
Yeah.
it's I think the best part of it is just coming together with all your friends and people you kind of grew up with type of
hmm
thing, and
And it's
and
kind
especially for
of,
you guys.
sorry, I didn't
Go ahead,
want to interrupt. Go
go
ahead.
ahead, go ahead,
Oh,
go ahead.
and it's kind of nice to see, like, for me, for example, how some of the people I used to play with when I was younger, how we all kind of transition in the senior national team. It's kind of like it's like a
Absolutely.
growth. Like you can see the growth in the people that kind of came along with you in the whole process, and just kind of see that, okay, I'm not the younger girl anymore. I'm actually kind of like the senior.
We're the
On the
We
experienced
also
we're
feel
side.
like
we're
Literally,
being the vets now.
literally, when I found out that I was like the fifth or sixth oldest one in the team, I was freaking out. I was like, how did this even happen? Like I just blinked one time and it just went from 0 to 100. I was like, I was a youngin', like what? So literally, like it's good to see the new generations also coming in, like the talent that they bring, and just like how you grew with the people that you played with when with the youth national team, or in the youth competitions and stuff like that. So it's very nice to see the transition. It kind of makes you reflect on how like everything goes. So yeah, I
Yeah.
love that part for sure. Yeah.
Now, going back, imagine your younger self.
hmm
What advice would you give young Lorela Cubaj?
What advice would I give myself? Uh, hmm, I would say, first of all, every decision you made, that was the right decision. That's what I would say. I'll be a little cocky there, but it's okay.
We
But
love that. We love that.
so just to not like overthink. Like that was my biggest thing. Like I am very much of an overthinker, and also I very much get down on myself, meaning that every mistakes, I think we're going back to what I said before, but every mistakes I used to dwell on it and just like, thinking of it too much. Just go. It's so like it goes on so fast, and the time goes by so fast. Just keep going. Like you're never gonna get those moments back. So don't dwell too much and just keep going. Like, but at the end of the day, I'm very proud of you, of my younger self. So yeah.
so
I would say
sweet.
that to I would say that to my younger self.
That's
Okay.
awesome.
Good. And also like it is actually a good advice. Like I feel like a lot of us are like overthinking like our decisions and everything, and like your ride is never gonna be honestly perfect.
hmm
Like I feel like that's for everyone, and we're not perfect. Like all of us have like had something in our way, but like that has made us, and like it
hmm
will make you who is listening, like whenever you have that tough time, like just like try to just keep going and understand that, like, okay, a better time is coming. Like something is you're working towards something, and it will help you in the long run. So there's no point of you overthink this one situation, one season, one game. I don't know, like, for everyone is different, but yeah, we had one interesting question that we were like, okay, we want this you to answer, because a lot of questions that were asked we already answered throughout the live, but there was one from audience. They asked, "What's your favorite thing about Venice right now?" Like, yeah, what
Like
do you like
like
to
the
eat?
city or oh eating. Okay.
City, eat, and what to do? Like, yeah.
Okay, so definitely, I would say Venice is a very interesting city. Like there is no city like Venice, so even like going to visit Venice is very, it's something that you do and you're just like, oh my God, like this is so much different. So definitely just visiting it, like it's just, very interesting. When it comes to food, I definitely like to cook at home, so I'm not very very much going out. I'm trying to be, healthy, hashtag healthy, but like here very much like seafood, hashtag healthy, yeah. And then, like we are close to the water, so the seafood or just pasta with there's this place in Venice with pasta with lobsters, so good.
Mhm.
Yes, if y'all coming, yeah, we're definitely going there because it's so good. So good. So, yeah, definitely with the food. If you go to Venice, the best advice I can give you, just eat seafood because that's literally the best there.
Okay.
So you're close to the water. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Like, but
Okay.
yeah.
There's like one question right now that popped up. Like, maybe you can quickly just answer. What's the difference between playing in Europe and USA?
I would definitely say for me, especially in the beginning, was very hard to play in the USA because the level of physicality was very intense for me. Like I don't know if y'all can relate, even in college, I struggled, and I thought it was physical, so I was struggling. So I was like, okay, I'm kind of being thrown to the wolves. But yes, it was definitely very much physical, and very much just athletic, way more athletic. You gotta keep up with everything. You just gotta like always work out because you cannot lose that shape. I'm sorry, like it's just yes, it's very intense. But when it comes to Europe, for me, it's just like maybe it's not as intense, but it's more tactical in a way sometimes, like we just like to play more through the plays and just more tactics goes into the European game, I feel like sometimes. Not that it doesn't go to the USA one, but I feel like in Europe because there is not that level of athleticism, you need to practice it more. So yeah, I think that would be the biggest difference between each other. So
Yeah.
Okay.
okay.
So now we have concluded, like the semi-important part, but the most important part is now.
Oh,
Are you ready for some fire questions?
I guess yes,
Yes?
yes, I'm ready.
Okay, it's gonna go really quick, so just say the
Okay,
first thing that pops in your head. Okay, so the first one, summer or winter?
winter.
What?
Oh, you just said you didn't like go to
Seriously?
cities, but okay.
This is your place,
Okay,
girl.
winter in Italy, I guess.
Winter in
Winter
Italy,
in
yeah,
Italy.
because winter in Latvia, man.
I'm sorry, no.
Gelato or ice cream?
Gelato,
Okay.
1000%.
Are you a morning person or a night owl?
Trying to be a morning person, still a little bit of a night owl, a
Okay.
little bit.
Apple Music or Spotify?
Apple Music.
Okay. Best arena you ever played at?
Um, State Farm Arena, yeah, for
In
sure.
which
Okay.
city?
Atlanta, yeah.
Okay, okay. What was your favorite subject in school?
English, and I really like, yeah, I think English, yes, for sure, English. I'll stop with that.
Okay. Do you binge TV shows or watch it one episode at a time?
Binge.
Same.
How can you not watch only one episode? Like,
Right?
come on, it's impossible.
What language do you want to learn?
I want to learn German, but it's very hard.
Yes.
So. Yeah.
Do you meal prep?
No. No,
Okay. Do you
Hashtag
re
healthy.
hashtag healthy, but I don't meal prep. I just go through whatever the fridge offers me, I just go with it.
Makes sense.
Sometimes I
um
just don't have time for that.
okay, moving on. Do you remember your dreams when you wake up?
Sometimes.
Okay. Uh, who do you go to for advice?
My mom.
Okay. Where did you last travel to?
Where did we go right now? Prague.
Okay.
Prague.
And what motivates you every day?
Just my family and just, you know, just the fact that I'm able to do what I love and just I love my job.
Okay,
That's
that
awesome.
concludes our fire questions. Very good.
Those were nice. I like them.
That's great.
Even
Yeah.
though y'all were roasting me for some of them, but it's okay. I'll take the roast. I'll take
It's
the
all
roast.
love. It's all love,
I
Lo. It's
know,
all
I
love.
know.
That's why the
But
truth is coming out. The truth is coming out.
Yeah,
Whatever you said before, like the
you
fire
know,
questions reveal the
if I
real.
lie, they just come out. I'm sorry, y'all. I like the winter in Italy.
well, thank you so much for coming on this live. We just want to say our audience to give Lo a follow and follow her take, follow everybody. And remember, we have our website open. It's called Team. Be on our team, and it's a database for girls to gain exposure. A mini advertisement.
Hashtag advert ad.
Thank y'all so much. I love doing this, so it was
Yeah,
amazing. I loved it. Thank you so much.
we
Thank
And
you.
appreciate you.
thank
Come
you
Yeah,
for the
for real.
questions, for the followers. Thank you.
Yes,
Okay.
yeah. Thank you. Yeah, thank you for the audience really involving. Good job.
Now, you have a good luck for the rest of the season, Lo. Stay healthy and
Good
All
luck
love.
to. Oh, can I
oh,
do this? Why can I do
Oh!
that? Okay,
oh,
oh, yes,
there
okay.
it is. There it is.
Good luck to every one of you. Stay healthy and just
Enjoy.
I hope you'll win every
Yeah.
Yeah.
game. So,
Okay.
bye
All
Bye,
y'all.
right.
everybody. See
Love
you in the
Bye.
you.
next
Bye.
one.
Bye bye.